Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we are looking at some extreme fear in the cryptocurrency market. We've got everybody yelling for gloom and doom. We've got Peter Schiff on the internet just screaming that he is the best chartist in the world and that Bitcoin is going to zero. So, I thought it was a good opportunity for me to get on here and make a video and explain to you why I have no worries about what we're doing and where we're going. Before I really dive into all that, the first thing I'll do is let me just start reducing a little bit of fear on this Bitcoin chart real quick. Okay, if you think we're going to go die, then you have to tell me that it's not in a channel or a bull flag, and that it didn't just hit the bottom of the channel or the bull flag. So you have to tell me that you think it cannot go like that and bull flag and go. So if you think that's impossible, well, we're probably never going to be on the same page, and I might not be the best channel for you to be watching because I am not worried at all. Um, but really, I want to focus more over her on XRP, right? I mean, that's really what my channel is more about, is about XRP and the future we have there. So, if you remember, just what 1 week ago, we were right here, coming off of the Swell Conference, X Ripple's annual conference, where they invite all of their customers and show what they've been working on, and all the optimism around Ripple and XRP at that time. And here we are, 1 week later, and we've got an XRP price of 23.19 cents. And now people are questioning themselves. They have a lot of fear. And man, yesterday I had to take the day off because I do a lot of stuff in my community that I'm not ready to really share here on YouTube. But I had to do a presentation yesterday of some of the stuff that I've been working on as volunteer work um, for my community, and it's not that I'm forced to do that. I do that because I want to do it. I do it for my neighborhood, and so yes, I've been busy these last couple of days doing that, and there just wasn't really a whole lot to talk about yesterday. I've been making videos every day for a week, but hey, you guys don't care about that. I'm back, and I thought, this is a really good opportunity right now with these markets showing this red to explain to you why I can remain so confident that everything is going to be completely fine. Okay. And I want to take a step back and tell you that, I watch other YouTube videos. I watch other content creators and people who make XRP videos. I see what goes on. And, you know, 2 or 3 days ago, I was watching the Digital Asset Investor. I'm sure you've heard of him. If you haven't heard of him, go check him out. Totally motivational guy, creates lots of content, does multiple videos every day. He's awesome. There's a lot of great people in this community, but I wanted to touch on something that he talked about in his video a couple of days ago. And that's about how if his children learn anything from him, there's one lesson in particular that he wants them to remember. And that is that you can achieve anything if you become tunnel visioned about it. If you just commit to it intensely with everything you've got, and it's the one thing that you say you're going to do, then you can achieve anything. And even on my Twitter, I write, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And when he said this, it resonated with me so well. Because my wife and I joke around about it, but it's not really a joke to her because we call it hyper focus. Um, when I get so hyper focused on things that I unfortunately ignore a lot of the other things in my life. And, sometimes that's family time. And, I'm not perfect. I do it. And I feel bad about that when that happens. But I get so entrapped in something. And so focused on it that it's like no, I mean it's the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning. It's the last thing I think about when I go to sleep, and I'll go to sleep 3 hours later than I should have because I'm working on something or paying attention to something or so focused on something that I'll lose sleep over it because I'm so focused on it. Um, and this has been how I have been my whole entire life. And I've achieved a lot of great things in my life. Now, I do consider myself to be a pretty smart person, but I'm definitely not like one of those like really smart people. I'm not one of those guys who can like tell you exactly how the blockchain works and how, what the code means and what this and that does and what makes this better than that. I don't know. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but a lot of the success that I have had in my life comes from me being so hyper focused that I will not quit until I get what I want, until I am victorious, until I've won, until I get the results that I'm wanting. And when I was a little kid, when I was 13 years old, I'm in my mid 30s now, but when I was 13 years old, I fell off of a skateboard and I cracked my head open. I actually didn't crack my head open. The only external wound I had on my head was that blood was pouring out of my eardrum. So I just had tons of blood coming out because I had broken the inside of my skull and pierced my brain. And I had to go get brain surgery, and I had to have 56 staples staple up my head. And to this day, I still carry around this big horseshoe scar on the side of my head, and I keep my hair cut short. When I walk around in public, my scar is out there for the world to see. And I'm always curious if people think, oh man, does that guy have cancer or is that guy sick or what's wrong with him? No, I had a head injury when I was a kid. But when I had this head injury, they told my mom that there was a 50% chance that I would die on the operating table and that there was a 90% chance that I would come out mentally retarded to where I wouldn't be able to feed myself. I would just be a noodle. And that there was a 90% chance of this happening. Well, I missed 3 months of school from that head injury and I went on to graduate with honors. And this was when I was like 13, so I was like in seventh grade. Um, I ended up making a full recovery from that. And then when I was a junior in high school, I said, hey, I want to graduate high school a year early. What do I need to do? And I go up to the front desk and I ask them, what are the things that I need to do? They say, well, you need to start taking a zero periods. You need to take a class before school even starts. So you need to start coming to school at 6:15 in the morning rather than 7:30. You need to start doing homeschooling from when you get out of school until night school. And then you need to go to night school from 7 to 9:30 at night. So I had to go to school from 6:15 in the morning till 9:30 at night for an entire year in order to do my junior year and my senior year in the same year. And I did that because I was so hyper focused on succeeding. It wasn't because I was the smartest guy, it was just because I committed to it. I ended up getting all A's and all B's. Mind you, leading up to that, my freshman and my sophomore year, I was like a C student. I had like a 2.5 GPA. I did not get a single C that year, going to school from 6:15 in the morning till 9:30 at night. Graduated, got accepted into college, went on and got a bachelor's of business administration, 4-year degree from the university. Um, then I went on and just kind of like lived my life, right? I was like, okay, cool, I've achieved everything. That's great. And now I'm going to just, start partying, having a good time. I started drinking, man. I started just hanging out. It's like I'm making like a $40,000 a year job. I was just drinking, going crazy, and I just wasn't achieving anything in my life. And then when I was 28 years old, I said, that's it, I'm done. I've got to stop drinking. This is like ruining my life. And I'm telling you, when we're talking about being committed to something, when it comes to drinking, I was committed. I could drink 40 beers. I could drink anybody under the table. There's people who go out there and they'll spend $10 on like a six pack of you know, whatever, like craft brewery beer, $10 for a six pack. I'm like, dude, If I had, it would cost me $100 to drink one night if I did that. I go out and buy me a 30 pack of Keystone or Bush or Miller High Life, 20 bucks. Get me a 30 pack, boom, drink the whole thing. So anyhow, I lost focus in my life during that time, and I ended up getting sober when I was 28. And then things started changing, man. My brain started coming back. Um, and, my family and my relationships started getting better. And I said, I need to achieve more in my life again. It was like it all came back. And I was like, I've just been kind of coasting through life. I haven't done anything in a long time. And, one thing I forgot to mention, when I was in high school, I created a website for Linkin Park, the band. And Linkin Park flew me out to Hollywood, California back in like 2002. And they gave me a platinum plaque. And they took me to the recording studios, out to dinner. Like it was just like this huge recognition and award thing for their appreciation for what I had done. And I had not done anything like that between age 22 and 28. I get sober. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go back to college again. I decide to go back to college again to go get a computer science degree. And while I was in college, I learned how to buy and sell and flip video games. And I found out how to make a big profit by flipping video games between like GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Go Hastings. A lot of these places don't do video games anymore because there's just no business model there, and they were just giving away free money. And, I learned a lot about that business. And I said, this is a lot of work, but I was so committed. I made like 80 grand while I was in college in 1 year. And I was like, okay, let's find something different to do. And I started another company. And with that company that I started about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm now able to support my entire family. I've got kids, I'm married, and I became super hyper focused on starting this company. And like I said at the very beginning, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I become so hyper focused on succeeding at things that I just don't quit, and nothing matters until I get it. And now when we look at cryptocurrency, right? And in particular when we look at XRP, you have to say to yourself, how confident was I that everything was okay right there? Right? Right here, how confident was I that XRP is great? This is when Swell was going on. This is when, all the content creators were getting called out, saying that, this is wonderful. And, we learned about all the partnerships, the future, everything is great. Then the price dips down to 23 cents and everybody's panicking, right? And I think, it's okay to be a little disappointed that we didn't start mooning, right? We all want that. We're all here to get a return on our investment. Nobody is here to lose money. No one. Everyone is here to make money. But just because the price moved, it doesn't change your commitment, right? Your commitment for the success has still got to be there. If you can be wavered, if your emotions can be wavered to doubt whether or not you are doing the right thing this easily, then you might not have what it takes to get way up here. You just, because what's going to happen when this happens, right? Let's say this thing goes up to $18 and you've got 10, 20,000 XRP, and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, this is enough money for me to buy like an amazing new house." Then wham, that happens. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, now I all I can do is buy a new car." But I still want the car. I don't want to lose it all. Let me just go ahead and sell here, and I've got enough money to buy a car. And then wham, if you're going to get shaken out and not keep your eye on the prize and what you're here for, if you're going to get shaken out here, you're just going to get shaken out again later. I mean, you've 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 got to have a plan and stick with it. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive to being upset and being worried right now because I do understand that too. All the things that I've succeeded in my life, it just makes me wonder, what makes me so special, right? Why do I get to survive this traumatic brain injury? You know, how the heck was I able to get through high school in only 3 years and do what I did? Get a college degree after all of that. Why did I get to start a company and be successful and get to work from home and hang out in my pajamas all day and make the same amount of money as people in my neighborhood who have to go sit in an hour of traffic each way to and from work and they're miserable in their cubicle? Why am I the lucky one? Um, and then you got to look back at the fact that this universe has supposedly been around for 13 billion years. Think about that. 13 billion. Your life expectancy is about 75. The period of your entire life is 75 years of this 13 billion time period. Do you think that the purpose of your life is to be born, come to this moment in your life, make this investment, this commitment, and then lose it all? Do you think that's the purpose of your life? Because I don't think it's the purpose of my life. Not with everything I've been through and how I've seen time and time again that if you stick it out, everything works out. And that's how I'm viewing this as well. The story of my life, of the blockchain backer's life, is not losing everything. The story of my life is overcoming great odds and unbelievable doubt. Nobody saw it coming. Out of nowhere, it goes! And the blockchain backer rides the wave. That's the story of my life. And I have to have faith, and I do have faith that that is the story of my life. So while everybody is panicking, and Peter Schiff is on his Twitter telling you that it's dead, even the technicals tell you it's not. And this is me just trying to provide you a little bit of reassurance that take a deep breath, commit. When I got sober 6.5 years ago, I had to commit. I had to just say, I'm going to do it. Nothing's going to stop me. Now, I want you to think about all the things that can happen to you in your life that would possibly make you want to get a drink. Okay? And to stick with it through all those bad things that can happen and do happen in life even after you get sober. I mean, for sakes, we've been through this 2-year bear market. I would assume that 99% of people that have gone through this bear market had to drink a couple of these nights in order to be able to get through the night. The blockchain backer has not had one drink during this whole bear market. That's commitment. And I have the commitment to stick this out and make it. And I hope you do too, and I hope you come on this journey with me. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. As always, this is not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.